Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to DuPont Summit 2024. Our next session is delivered by Jocelyn Chen. She is a professor from University of Central Oklahoma. Let's welcome Jocelyn.
Hi, I'd like to welcome you to this session. We are going to talk about how to use technology such as AI, machine learning, metaverse, and so forth to engage partnership with the government, industry, and the universities. And this stems from six different federal, state, private institution, foundation grants. And so it also is going to be tied to the United Nations 2030 Sustainable Technology Development Goals. So let's take a look at it here. There are 17 goals according to the United Nations that we would like to achieve in the global communities. And they will stem from no poverty all the way to partnership on the forming goals because we are not doing anything just by ourselves. We need communities in the local and global communities, and that would engage the government agencies, universities, research, and then the industry to stay current, especially when we're talking about technology. And so six grants, uh, there were quite a few funded by the National Science Foundation. The first one is Computer Forensic Grant for girls, high school girls to promote gender equity. Because we all know for the STEM, uh, stands for science, technology, engineering, and math, are underrepresented by females. And so this grant is funded by the National Science Foundation. And the next grant is funded by the Environmental Protection Agency. And that grant is also target high school students to introduce them water-related careers. And the third one is a socially sustainable solutions to clean the water contamination and carbon, like the emission zero infrastructure in Oklahoma. And this is a $5 million grant funded by the National Science Foundation for APSCO State. EBSCO stands for Center to Promote Research, and that's normally funded to state they are underfunded in terms of research. And so Oklahoma is one of the 17 states that are underfunded. And so the next one is funded by the Oklahoma State Environmental Quality, and this grant is to address food insecurity. And I will give a little details when we get to that. And then the fifth one is computer science. That's another NS grant funded recently to teach computer science to tribal reservation. And again, they're one of those underserved population and community. And then the sixth one is the Societal Impact Grant that's funded at UCO. And for the college business, especially because we are AACSB accredited, a international accreditation to want to promote business communities to make sure we are teaching corporate social responsibility and how we're going to use technology to further achieve those goals. And so this is just first grant is for girls, and it's addressing the quality education for the United Nations for improving the quality, and then the gender equality for girls. And so every year we have to turn away 70% of girls who want to come to some summer camp. And so we need additional funding to accommodate their needs so they will further pursue their interest in STEM field, especially emerging careers such as computer forensics. And we know there are a lot of cybersecurity issues right now, and so that's really one area, excellent program for them to get their foot in the door and to get some internships. So this grant focuses on a lot of innovation for to establish the cyber infrastructure, and we also partner with a lot of government, industry, at the university partnership. And so the FBI, for example, and we also partners with the IBM, Apple, and then local communities. We also have a community college because of we are seeing the trend that some of the students, high school students, are wanting to go to tech school. And so those are kind of the trend that we partner. And computer or called digital forensics is an interdisciplinary field. Is emerging in our university. Recently have a PhD program. So innovation is a 2-week program, and we will introduce students to use technology such as AI, blockchain, metaverse, and machine learning. And so we expose to students to different type of data, as more complex data such as DNA or the biometrics, which is like fingerprints, because 80% of the data is not just text or numbers. They are more and more going to be those really complex data type. And so we have internship for high school girls. I also have research fellowship for high school girls, and that way they can work in the summertime, or they can do research all year long to expose them to do some kind of research. And so every NS grant is highly encouraged to use a logic model. And then you can see here, partnership is one big input because we need resources, and then we can collaborate and leverage those infrastructure technology wise or resource wise or expertise wise to share. And so you can see that we have proposed interventions to have summer academy, other school program, job shadow, mentoring, internship, and research. And then you can have output such as the research, uh, like journals or presentations such as the one we have right now, and then you have interaction merits and then the broader impact. And so the ultimate goal is to have girls that increase their interest in pursuing those careers. And then you also will help them to have AI competency, data literacy, and then other increased awareness of the courses. And so to beyond 3 years. And so I will show you some of the prototype or the artifact created by students, such as like career infographics. One page have students research and say what field they would like to go into, what classes is required, or what degree is preferred
I'm
for
sorry,
them to
Juscelina.
enter.
I think
Yes?
your screen just stopped sharing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. That's very weird. Let me try that again. Okay. I'm right here on this. Can you see my screen?
Yes, now I can see.
Okay. So let me know anytime it kind of goes out and I will rejoin. Okay. So those are some of the technology that stem from some of those grants. So you have the technology like AI, virtual reality, metaverse, blockchain, or machine learning. And so classroom-wise, teachers can use those tools, and they can have rubrics, they have templates, and then some of those grants they will come out. We have like journals and ebooks and so forth. And so are you good? You still able to see it, right?
Yes, everything's good.
Okay, so the metaverse, for example, students will go visit at the local police station, and then they can also use for the simulation 911. Then they can put on the virtual reality, and then they can process this crime scene virtually. Sometimes, especially during COVID, we cannot really simulate the crime scene, and have them come locally, but they can do virtual crime scene. Like this guy was laying there, got some blood. You can collect the crime scenes. And so another one is simulated biometrics. It's like you have your fingerprints. Instead of just trying to eye scan and identify the fingerprints, we can use AI. And next example is the DNA. Then instead of trying to compare those, you can have the machine to do the learning, and then they can identify. So mortality wise, because of COVID, we have to move everything from face to face to virtual. And so you have them as they are assigned cold cases, and the students were to solve and then interview suspects and witnesses. And so you have these students collaborate together to do the interviewing, and then to interpret, collect DNA, and then they say, okay, I think because all this evidence point to you are the suspect, and then we're going to read you your Miranda rights. And you can see when it's in person, the students will present their cases, but when they're virtually, during COVID, and they were presented to a virtual court simulator. And then also you have like teachers take those back to their classroom for they can use them in a chemistry class, or you can use it in the biology class to test the blood, to test anything else. And so the goal is for them to make sure students are learning before and after they come to this camp. And then you can see the increase, even in virtual modality, they actually increase. And so because we're dealing with Gen Z, which is a very technology savvy. And so also successful track record is some of the students that join in those programs or work for me as a research assistant. They are now working for the United States Secret Service, FBI agents, Oklahoma Bureau investigators to against child pornography, working for Boeing as engineers or Tinker Air Force in Oklahoma, and the Federal Aviation, and then the border and the DA and so forth. And so those that want to have internship, they will have a database, do machine learning, and they have the juvenile crimes. They also will look at the death toll, the research fellowship, and then to study 47 inmates on the death row. And the students can create the data and then to look for trends, what really the through line of those crimes. And so the next one is the EPA, and I'm going to go a little bit faster just to make sure I stay within the time frame. This is the EPA grant for high school students to promote awareness of water related. So we have summer camps, we have career fairs, and we also will go to college and then partner with communities to talk about how to test their water, and then it address the UN social sustainable goals. Number 4, quality education. Number 6, to have clean water, and then 11, sustainable cities with the right kind of infrastructure for the communities life in the water, and then also the through line is the partnership that we talk about. And so we also have an internship for students that want to do their carbon, the green grass gas emission control. That way it won't further, we are trying not to sustain our earth to be a place we can continue to improve. And so we will be able to live in this earth that we inherited. And so students will use their GIS, GPS, and any kind of organization data to make sure we also promote corporate social responsibility for a lot of company. They have their zero emission, like Amazon, Coca-Cola, Procter and Gamble, pretty much every company have to comply to make sure they're fulfilling their corporate responsibility. And so this is another project by intern to kind of take the EPA data, and then they can simulate it, and they can build a website, and then people can just say, okay, comparison Oklahoma and to the nation or global wise, how are we doing in terms of our sustainability goals? And then this next piece is $5 million NSF grant that it emphasize trying to address again quality education partnership, which is the through line for all those grants that I'm sharing with you. And then they also will look at land, how can we sustain not to further damage the biodiversity of our soil, and then the water to make sure we have clean water to drink, and then the air pollution. And so the next grant is funded by the state Departmental Environmental Quality. This is to promote responsible food consumption. As you can see, university, we often have a cafeteria, and the prepared food not necessarily be consumed by everybody because you don't know how many people show up for lunch. And so for the surplus food, DEQ, they funded this university to repackage the unused food and then put in a refrigerator for the community that suffer food insecurity so they can come and grab their lunch, the dinner, faculty is open for students. No, sometimes students don't have enough money to pay for everything, and so they kind of cut their food and they eat a ramen noodle. And so you want them to have some nutritional food that cafeteria quality, and so they can take those home. It's open for faculty and staff too, because sometimes people are kind of like humbled by it and they don't want to say anything. But you could be put it, they just go grab their food and take it home to feed their kids if they want to. And so those are just some of the partnership. And this one is for the tribal. It's just recently funded by the National Science Foundation. And so it's going to last till like 2030. So it's still, the project's still going on. And so we partners. So every time we have a new grant, we will have form new partnership and so forth. And so this one focus on training the tribal teachers and also the homeschool teachers because they don't receive extra funding and they are underrepresented and underserved population. And so we felt like in order for students to become the 21st century citizens and also in the workforce, that we need to train their teachers first. And most of the time, teachers don't have school, don't have funding to send them to a conference. And especially in IT, you need to stay current. And so we're trying to teach them how to use AI to optimize, improve their productivity so they can use AI to generate curriculum and teaching modules so that will free them time to actually focus on students and to differentiate and personalize education to students at their level because not all students are at the same level when they are kind of, especially for the urban schools, they really don't have the resources to help them. And so I think that's an important part to provide them professional development and give them the micro credential to give them certificates or digital badges when they finish certain modules and they have them to have money they want to go to more further their education or professional development. So we give them stipends so they can go to conference when they want to. And also we try to have other things to teach them, prepare them databases. And so we can use some of the technology we already used in the past and then modify them in terms of context or content to make it more age appropriate for them. And so some of the technology can be extended to different disciplines. For example, nanotechnology is an easy one they can do, and they can just do in the classroom to kind of create this glass in this lower corner here. And then so that way they can learn different type nanotechnology can also be applied to healthcare. And now you can say when I have this kind of my husband had brain cancer, and so nanotechnology will be a better choice versus just the traditional radiation because they can just focus on the part that needs to go and without doing the chemistry radiation or destroy everything in the brain cells. And so that type of technology would be in place for the years to come. And the last grants is a social impact, and because it's AACSB accredited and it's an international accreditation, we want to focus on as much as the impact possible to not only train the tribal educators or reach the girls, and you want to be in all kinds of infrastructure like a corporation. I mentioned Amazon, and Coca-Cola and all these different corporations, we want to make sure we hit them as much as possible, especially in the tribal that really don't have the money to the poverty line is so prevalent because it's almost a vicious cycle. They cannot afford good living condition, good and quality water, and then a lot of their land was damaged, and so they really need more funding or resources to help their young generation to have 21st skill set like AI, like data science, and so they want to make sure that they can have all this help that will be able to reduce hunger because without a high paying job, they're not able to feed their kids. And so to really change that from the foundational, you kind of have to train the teachers first, then you train the students. They can learn high paying jobs. They can come back to serve their community. And so those are just some of the goals we want to make sure they're being taken care of. This is just a synopsis of all these different type of programs, and then they will have different interventions. Like this one is a conference, and I'm so glad it's free for people to attend free because we're trying to promote the public awareness. We also have workshop and they can attend. It's also free. Academy is also free for students, teachers, and then some of the internship is also free, and also get stipends for those students, the teachers, and so forth. And then hopefully we will be able to address some of the United Nations 2030 sustainable goals and in different areas and focus, and so climate change. And that kind of concludes my presentation. And so I want to open up if you have anybody have any questions, then I can answer. And then I see there was a chat one here. And so okay, oh hi everyone. That's from Kim Jo. Okay. All right. That's all I have. And any questions? I'm gonna release the share screen here. And you're welcome to record this and share with the other first people that needed to access this and cannot come because this is a lunchtime for them. Yeah.
Yeah, we will record this and make it open access on our YouTube channel, and we will send another announcement once the recording is ready to view.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so
Of
much for this opportunity to share. And anyone else have any questions? Okay.
course, if anyone have any question, you can type them in the chat box or use the Q&A session, and we will get them answered now. We just wait like 1 or 2 more minutes. If there are no question, we can end up this session early.
Okay. I see Daniel here. Yeah. Hi. Thank you for the opportunity to present at this DuPont Conference Summit.
Okay, I do not see any question from my side, so I think we will end this session early. Our next session will begin at 1:15 p.m. Eastern Time, and we will see everyone later.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so much.
Gina.
Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.
You too. Have a great day. Bye-bye.